Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to discuss the pros and cons of Fishtown, Philadelphia. So let's jump right into it. Now I took a trip recently to Fishtown, giving you sort of fresh from visiting the area what my gut reaction is in terms of the pros and cons. So the first pro of Fishtown is that it has two main streets, which I think is really cool. It has Frankfort Avenue and then it has East Garage Street. I might be saying those names wrong, please forgive me. But that's really cool, right? Because it gives you two options. So instead of the town just having one street that has different things on it, it has two. So it's really great. Just more restaurants, more bars, more activity locations. It's just more. And to me, that's a great thing. From someone who lives in New York City right now, living somewhere that you have multiple options of different things is really attractive. And they also have name brand stores, restaurants there as well. So you'll see a Chase, you'll see a Bank of America, you'll see a McDonald's. That stuff is important to me because I bank with those banks and I like to go to McDonald's sometimes. I know it's not healthy, but it's good that they have some major brand stores there, but also, local family owned or mom and pop style businesses as well. I think that mixture is really good. So thumbs up on the two main streets there. Another pro is the row homes. They're beautiful to me. When I was walking around, I could just see myself in every single row house that was there. I was just like, oh, this is so cute. That one is so cute. The other one is even cuter. The homes looked really nice, really nice. You will, walking around, you will definitely be yeah, I could live here for sure. For sure. The row homes are beautiful and just the feel of the neighborhood is just really nice. Thumbs up. Next pro is actually the surrounding neighborhood. So Fishtown itself is really nice, safe, no issues, but it's actually surrounded by really good neighborhoods as well. I think the Old Kensington is one, and there's Old City. So it's one of those areas where if you go left, if you go right, if you go up, if you go down, you don't need to worry because it's all safe areas around you, which is good because personally for me, I don't want to live somewhere that I'm oh wait, okay, all right, I can't go past this block because after this block, then it gets really dicey. So I'm trapped in my neighborhood because if I take a couple steps out of it, then something might go wrong. No. I will not live in fear like that. So that's a big plus for Fishtown, that you can just walk around and get lost. You'll be 100% okay. The next pro is that the train runs very frequently. So the SEPTA train that goes to Fishtown, there's two stops. It runs, I think, every 5 to 10 minutes or something like that. So it's really nice. So whenever you're ready to go, just go. You don't need to time anything. You don't need to plan anything around a train schedule or anything like that. So that was really good. Now let's flip to the con. The con about Fishtown is the cost. Now to me, it's expensive, right? So the homes that I'm there are homes there for 800,000 plus, which for my price point, that's really expensive. Now granted, that's the brand new construction with all the bells and whistles. Yeah, I get that, but most people probably can't afford an $800,000 home on a single income. Maybe dual income, this might be a different conversation. Even then, right? It depends on how much each person makes. So it's expensive. You could probably find something there in the 5s, or I've seen stuff in 3s, but it's more gut renovated, needed. So there's a catch to it. So So I'm looking at like 3+ bedrooms, right? So keep that in mind. And for 3+ bedrooms, it's going to be hard to find something in the 3s, 4s that does not need like complete gut renovation. So the cost there is a little, if you have the money, great, right? But if you're someone like me who is, you know, we have to make sure that we are conscious of the cost of the home we're buying because we don't want to be house poor, it's a con. The other thing is the schools. I know there's a lot out there about like Philly schools and how quote unquote bad they are. There's a lot of like racial inequality when it comes down to those rankings, but that's a whole other conversation. But besides that, like the schools are not like viewed in a positive way, and because of that, the folks in the neighborhood actually don't send their kids to the school. Isn't that kind of interesting? Because I'm like, well, maybe if you sent your kid to the school, then there could be improvements. I don't know, right? So they don't send their kids to the school. Like, they absolutely do not. So because of that, it doesn't take a genius to figure out, okay, those kids are probably going to private school. I don't have private school money. That's a big con for me. Again, if you have the money, great, good for you. But to live in a neighborhood that I'm like, oh yeah, but my kid can't go to any of the schools here. What? No. So the public schools are a little... there's a lot, again, that goes into it, right? But just on the surface, just a pure surface, superficial level, that's a big con for me. And then the final con about Fishtown is the train, actually. So I know I just mentioned that the trains run frequently, which is great, that's true, but the train is hella dicey. Now, this is coming from someone, again, who currently lives in New York City, who's lived in New York City for 10+ years. And I'm talking like I lived in Manhattan, like prime location Manhattan. Now I'm in Astoria, Queens. Like, I've never lived far out areas in New York City. Like, it's always been like the busy center areas that I've lived in. So for me to say the train is dicey, that it's dicey for me to say that. Like, I'm not being biased, because I was trying to check myself that, like, okay, I hope you're not being biased and trying to compare like New York City to like Philadelphia, and I'm like, no, because there's a lot of homeless people here in New York City too. And on my way to Philly, I was like, my life was threatened literally by a homeless person. So I'm not trying to like make New York City homeless look better than Philadelphia. The train is really dicey. There's a lot of homeless people on the train, like a lot. When I say every single cart has multiple homeless people who have like taken out those carts and seats as like homes, I'm not over exaggerating. And this was in cold weather, so I can only imagine what it's like in the summer. It's most likely significantly worse. So it was just an experience that, you know, being on that train, I was like, I definitely would not take the train at all, like at all. And I definitely wouldn't bring my kid on the train. And when I was on the train, I can see that the people in the area, they do not take the train at all. So either they have cars or they are Ubering and using taxis to get to places. That's crazy expensive to do every single day for all the stuff that I need to do. Like, yes, true, everything pretty much is there in the neighborhood, so you technically, that cost could be minimized. But I'm like, I don't want to live in a neighborhood where I'm like, oh, everything is great as long as I don't get on the train. What? No. It's not for me. It's just the train. It's dirty. It's smelly. It's a very, very unpleasant experience. So, and I even met a woman on the Manayunk train line, which is the polar opposite of this one. Manayunk is like amazing. And I was telling her my experience on the train, and she's like, oh yeah, like I would never like take that train. And she's like, yeah, you know, like I work throughout the city, and if they gave me a job that required me to get on that train, that line that goes through Manning, like no, I would tell them no. I'm like, well, okay. So I'm like, it's not just me, and I'm not just over exaggerating. That train line needs to be like completely overhauled and cleaned up. And we need to get services, right, for the homeless people so they have somewhere to go and be safe and recover, right, and to live a productive life. But right now, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments if you agree, you disagree. Let me know anything else I missed. I would love for the dialogue to get started. All right, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.